My final remark to you is basically, according to previous keynote and discussion, they're talking about the IRR, ROI. Of course, the investment sometimes difficult to assess from today. I just give you an example. In our project, by 2020, the project will be expired. And by then, even by then, we're still running a loss of about 1.8 billion NT dollars. So we're still working very hard on that. So and we found out the infrastructure is very important. So sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not necessarily true. Just give you some insight.
I have a question to President Ho. Yeah, we are very glad that Advantech is also into this world-leading player for industry computer. And you mentioned that you have embedded system into Siemens as well as other companies. How about the analytics part? As I mentioned, most of Taiwanese companies probably put in hardware or software embedded system. And I think your company probably one of the most promising company can lead Taiwan's industry into this industry 4.0. So what is your strategy or vision about the analytical part or the solution on the base of your embedded system or industry computer?
Okay, thanks for the question. As I mentioned earlier, that we are now building the middleware, and in the we refer as a PaaS, PaaS, platform as a service. So in the PaaS layer, we have more than 150 API. Be able to connect with all the open source software. So actually nowadays there are a lot of open source, no matter like no rate for the IDE integrated interactive development tool, and also some of the analytic software from IBM, Bluemix, or from Microsoft Azure. I'll be honest that we are not yet be able to provide analytical software. So our strategy is to leverage, to collaborate with Microsoft and IBM on the analytical part. So someday probably I think we have a lot of genius in India.
Yeah.
So they will come up with a very inexpensive analytic tool, so we can also leverage. So we try to make ourselves as a connected. We can connect with all of the resources. We don't need to. We don't like to reinvest. We don't like to reinvest on that. So we will stay at a hardware and also the middleware, and leverage the available technology we have in US or India or in Europe.
That's our strategy. Waiting for innovation. Okay, yeah, I think the connectivity is one thing. And what you just mentioned is a very important part. That's analytic. And of course, everybody is working on that. Maybe we don't have the opportunity to share with you that in Taiwan we have 14 million transaction cards every day, of which we are able to, using the analytic platform, the identity correlated with the RFID and the license plate, down to 60,000 transactions has to manual handling, and reaching to 99.96. So that is a kind of business intelligence analytic tool inside designing the platform. So that is one of the cases that we are developing for the automobile traveling around the city.
Maybe I
okay.
Can
Yeah.
One thing. Yeah, please.
Seems everyone talking about the big data, right? And but with the big data, and then you have to have so-called the analytics. And usually we will treat the data into two forms. The one form is the so-called the real-time data, right? For example, you have a cell phone, you can catch the vibration and the movement right away. But the other data is the historical data. That's a massive one. So usually the true value will created by these two. How do you combine with the very short term and so-called the non-structured data in short term? And the other one is a structured, non-structured, but the massive one, and put together, that's a very, very hard thing, okay? Actually, we work with IBM Watson Lab for last 4 years, and we actually have some collaboration with their big data streaming computation center right now in Jiaotong University. And actually they are also facing a very huge problem. They don't have a good problem to be solved by their nuclear weapon level solution. Actually, the technology is over what we can solve now. But the key things, they just mentioned the total solution of the cloud from the infrastructure pass, then the SaaS, the so-called mobile app. Actually, they later out a very important layer. I call it the domain-driven pass. Okay, for example, it will be totally different talking about transportation intelligence with health intelligence, right? That means you can have eyes and pass, but you have to build up your own domain pass. That means it has to be localized, okay? Collaborate with the regulations and legal issue and many issues. So even nowadays, the domain pass is not ready yet. In E3, we do a lot about the domain pass. We focus on the healthcare, focus on the logistics. It's quite different. What you are talking about business enterprise service, or you are talking about enterprise to consumer service, and many differences. On top of this, then that means you have to have the domain knowledge cut in. Then you do the data analytics, right? So it's a complicated issue.
Yeah.
Any comments from you?
I'll cede my time. I'm learning from you.
Maybe I just one more word.
Yes.
Firstly, I really appreciate Professor Tang's comment. And with all respect, I have an argument with President Ho.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't think you should rely on companies like Google or IBM to develop that software part. Just like Professor Tang mentioned, it is domain specific, especially for manufacturing. That is strong in Taiwan as well in Asian country itself, or even in India. You should collaborate with some domain specific analytics service company, and even incubate that type of software service company in Taiwan with Advantech as a keystone, just like Siemens did in Germany as a leader in that. Thank you.
Wow, this is a really important takeaway. That is, there's a domain and domain-driven collaboration. Instead of collaborate everything, why not we just start from transportation? Yeah, that's
Big data
really
is
important.
just a tool.
Yeah.
Domain is a key.
Domain is a key. Yeah.
Domain is a key. Okay.
Yeah. So domain collaboration is more precisely and interesting. And actually, we are studying, working with some countries about some domain-driven collaboration. That's happening. So we have some areas, they have some requirement, and it's happening. Yeah. Okay.